My sister got my wife fired, but karma struck when her $2.5 million fraud scheme was exposed, leading to her ultimate downfall. Thelma, my 35-year-old sister, has always been fiercely competitive, particularly when it comes to professional achievements. As a straight-A student who was accepted into a prestigious college and landed a distinguished career immediately after graduation, Thelma quickly became our parents' golden child. She never forgot that I, on the other hand, was a more average student who took a few years to figure out my career path. Being the successful one in the family became Thelma's entire identity. Now a senior manager at one of the leading IT companies in our city, her achievements are constantly praised by our parents, who frequently hold her up as an example for the rest of us to emulate. Thelma lives in a luxurious home in one of the city's most exclusive neighborhoods and earns a very comfortable income. Family gatherings often turn into showcases of her latest bonus or promotion. 3 years ago, while we were both speaking at a tech conference, I met my wife, Libby. At 30, Libby had a work ethic unlike anything I'd ever seen. Intelligent, driven, and humble, she came from a background that couldn't have been more different from ours. Her parents had emigrated from Vietnam when she was 6, taking on various jobs to support their family while ensuring she excelled academically. Libby graduated with a degree in computer technology, balancing work and studies to help her family. What drew me to Libby was her humility. Despite her success, she never looked down on others or boasted about her achievements. Instead, she dedicated herself to mentoring younger developers and empowering others to succeed. We bonded quickly over our shared love of coding and problem solving, and after 2 years of dating, we had a modest wedding last year. From the beginning, Thelma didn't seem to like Libby. Initially, I assumed it was just her usual standoffishness toward new people, but I soon realized she saw Libby as a threat. Thelma frequently made subtle jabs, dismissing Libby's work at a smaller company, even though Libby was leading the engineering department at her startup and creating innovative solutions. Comments like, "That's cute, but at a real tech company like mine," or, "If you want to do meaningful work, you should apply for a junior role at my company," were common ways she tried to diminish Libby's accomplishments. Our parents never addressed Thelma's behavior, and when I confronted her, they accused me of overreacting, claiming Thelma was only trying to help Libby with her career. Libby, however, never rose to the bait. She always responded with grace, smiling and steering the conversation elsewhere, much to Thelma's frustration. 6 months ago, Libby landed her dream job at the same company where Thelma worked, albeit in a different department. The position offered better pay, greater responsibility, and the chance to oversee significant projects that could transform the industry. Libby's expertise in financial technology integration made her a perfect fit. When we shared the news at a family dinner, Thelma's reaction was telling. While our parents were thrilled and imagined the sisters-in-law having lunch together, Thelma simply pushed food around her plate and muttered something vague about changing hiring practices. Libby excelled in her new role, simplifying outdated systems and earning the admiration of her team. She came home every evening energized, eager to share her progress and challenges. But after just 2 weeks, Libby was abruptly called into HR and fired. The claim was that she had misrepresented her work history on her resume. It made no sense. Her references had been checked and verified during the interview process. Devastated, Libby came home in tears, unable to understand what had happened. HR refused to review her records or listen to her explanations. I couldn't shake the feeling something was off. Calling in a favor, I asked a friend who worked in IT at the company to look into it. What he uncovered enraged me. Thelma had fabricated evidence, creating fake emails and documents to make it look like Libby had lied about her past roles and achievements. When I confronted Thelma, she didn't even try to deny it. She justified her actions, claiming someone with Libby's background didn't belong at such a prestigious company and insisting she was protecting the company's reputation. Her words, dismissing Libby as "not our kind of people," were laced with prejudice and arrogance. When I told my parents about Thelma's betrayal, I expected outrage. Instead, They urged me to keep it within the family, downplaying Thelma's actions as a mistake born of job stress. They advised Libby to move on and find another job, insisting Thelma didn't mean any harm. Libby eventually found another role, though it wasn't as fulfilling as the one she lost. Meanwhile, karma caught up with Thelma. Last week, her supervisor discovered she had been falsifying performance reports for her team. She was fired on the spot. Now, with no savings to support her extravagant lifestyle, Thelma is desperately calling and texting me for help to pay her bills. Our parents are pressuring me to step in, emphasizing that family comes first. They insist Thelma's actions were a mistake, while Libby is just an in-law. I refused. Just as she abandoned Libby, I told her she's on her own. Though Thelma tearfully apologized, I doubt her sincerity. She seems sorry only because she needs help, not because she regrets what she did. Despite our parents' pleas to forgive and forget, I can't condone her deliberate cruelty toward my wife. To me, Thelma's actions revealed a side of her I can never trust again. After Thelma's apology and my refusal to help, things took a turn for the worse. Determined to salvage her reputation, Thelma started spinning her own version of events to our extended family. She painted herself as the victim, claiming that Libby had intentionally sabotaged her career and manipulated her way into the job at their company. According to her fabricated story, Libby had applied specifically to her department, hoping to take advantage of Thelma's position. The lies didn't stop there. Thelma went as far as suggesting that Libby had falsified her qualifications and schemed to tarnish Thelma's professional reputation. Some relatives, swayed by Thelma's emotional outbursts and selective storytelling, began questioning what really happened. A few even reached out to me, urging me to mediate and repair the rift in the family. But Libby and I had no intention of staying silent. We knew the truth was on our side. Together, we gathered every piece of evidence, Libby's glowing references, emails from her interview process, and even records of her successful projects at the company. We shared these with the relatives who were willing to listen, making it clear that Thelma's story was nothing more than an elaborate lie to cover up her own guilt. Despite this, Thelma doubled down on her accusations, even going so far as to post vague but pointed comments on social media about being betrayed by family. Her posts drew sympathy from some, but others began to see through the facade. The more she tried to shift blame, the more people started questioning her motives. In the meantime, Libby continued to thrive. Though the new job she had found wasn't her dream position, her talent and dedication quickly caught the attention of her supervisors. Within months, she was promoted and entrusted with a major project, one that would put her back on the career trajectory she deserved. Watching her resilience and grace in the face of such betrayal only deepened my admiration for her. As for Thelma, her situation worsened. With mounting bills and no immediate job prospects, she was forced to sell her luxury home and move into a much smaller apartment. The experience seemed to humble her, at least outwardly. She stopped reaching out to me, perhaps realizing that I wasn't going to rescue her from the mess she created. Our parents, however, refused to let the matter rest. They continued to pressure me to forgive Thelma, insisting that family is family, and that holding a grudge would only hurt us in the long run. But their repeated attempts to dismiss Thelma's actions as a mistake only reinforced my decision to distance myself. Family might be important, but respect and accountability matter more. In time, the extended family began to understand the full picture. The truth has a way of coming to light, even in the face of lies and manipulation. And while Thelma's downfall was a painful chapter for everyone involved, it served as a stark reminder of the consequences of envy and deceit. As I reflect on everything that's happened, I've come to see this experience as a turning point, not just for Thelma but for me and Libby as well. It solidified our bond, taught us the value of standing up for what's right, and showed us the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who genuinely support and uplift us. Though I don't know what the future holds for Thelma, one thing is certain: actions have consequences. And in this case, karma worked swiftly to remind her of that truth. In the months that followed, life slowly returned to normal for Libby and me. Thelma's presence in our lives became more distant as she continued grappling with the aftermath of her choices. While I chose not to maintain contact with her, I also decided not to let her bitterness cloud the happiness Libby and I were building together. Libby flourished in her new role, her determination and talent earning her respect and recognition. Watching her rise again despite everything strengthened my belief in her resilience and character. She refused to let Thelma's betrayal define her and continued to inspire me every day with her kindness and unwavering positivity. As for Thelma, I heard through family updates that she eventually found another job, albeit in a much less prestigious role than before. She's still struggling to regain the lifestyle she once flaunted, but from what I gather, the experience has forced her to confront the damage caused by her arrogance and insecurities. Whether she's truly learned from it, I can't say, and honestly, it's not my burden to bear. Our parents, though initially insistent on reconciliation, have begun to respect my boundaries. They've seen how much happier Libby and I are without the constant shadow of Thelma's competitiveness looming over us. While they still wish for a day when the family can come together, I've made it clear that forgiveness doesn't always mean returning to the way things were. This ordeal taught me the importance of loyalty, not just to family but to those who genuinely deserve it. Libby is my family now, and my priority will always be to protect and support her. Thelma may be my sister, but the bond of blood doesn't excuse betrayal. In the end, Thelma's story became a cautionary tale about how envy and deceit can unravel even the most polished facade. And though her actions caused pain, they also served as a reminder of what truly matters: integrity, love, and the strength to stand by the people who stand by you. As Libby and I look to the future, we do so with optimism and gratitude, knowing that no matter what challenges come our way, we'll face them together. And as for karma, it has a way of taking care of the rest.